YouTube, Khallid AKA Smoove Flipper, and in this video I'm going to go over 3 myths about phone flipping. Now this video is something that I have came up with over time due to some of the questions that I get and some of the different messages that I'm getting as well. So if you are new to my channel, please subscribe. If you do enjoy these types of videos, please give me a thumbs up and let's get into it. So there are tons of myths, first of all, about phone flipping. There's a lot of things that people think that you can and can't do, and it's completely false. But I feel like these 3 things I'm going to go over are pretty much the most important, things to clear up for you guys. So the first thing that I do want to go over is that a lot of people feel like you need 1,000 or thousands of dollars to start, and that is completely false. If you don't, have $1,000, you can start right away. You can start with $20. You can start with $50. Um, Obviously, the more the better because you can, buy higher value phones for cheaper to maximize those profits. But don't get discouraged if you only have $50 to start. You could start with that. I started 8 years ago with $100, so you can start with any amount you want. The process is going to take a little bit longer to, if your goal is to, have $5,000 in your bank account and you start with 40, then yeah, it's going to take a while to get there. But, I don't want you guys thinking that you have to wait until you have, $400 to spend on phones to get started. The best thing you can do is to get started immediately and you can work your way up from there. Um, Now again, it's going to take a while to get going, but again, if you start with a little bit of money and you go through those times where you're making mistakes, that in my opinion is better than having a couple $1,000s and then making those mistakes on iPhone X's that you spent $600 for. So it's kind of a good thing if you do make those mistakes, you've only spent 20 bucks or 30 bucks on a phone. It's not really a big deal. You're not losing a big chunk of change. You're losing just a little bit. So you don't need, you know, thousands of dollars to get started. I have a series, turning $20 to $1,000. You can make it work. Buy a couple crack screen phones, buy some, start buying iPhone 5s, iPhone 5Ss. Try some, you can do a lot of things with just $30, $40. But yeah, that's a myth that a lot of you guys think that you need so much money. You don't. Just wanted to, set that straight because a lot of people haven't even started yet just because of that myth. So if you only got 40 bucks, get started. Number 2, um, a lot of people think that you can't buy bad ESN devices. Now there are, a lot of people with different opinions about this, that they're saying, they won't even touch a bad ESN phone. And when I say bad ESN, I'm not saying, uh, you know, reported lost or stolen. Do not buy anything that when you check the IMEI, it says the phone has been reported lost or stolen. I don't even touch those. But when I say bad ESN, I mean like finance. So if the phone is still being financed and someone wants to sell it to you, I have no issue with anyone going out and buying that. eBay allows it. It's not like an iCloud locked phone where eBay doesn't allow it, but you can get away with selling bad ESN phone, and then your bad ESN phones, those are going to be the big profit. Your used, uh, good condition but used clean ESN phones, you're gonna make some money on those, but you can really drop the price on people when you tell them, hey, this phone's being financed, it's not paid off, especially if they're trying to sell it as a clean phone. You tell them that, you offer them a price, and if you have to give them that reason why, then say, hey, it's not even paid off. Who else is going to give you this amount for a non-paid off phone? You can't sell it to the general public because they're going to come back and say, hey, this phone is financed. So you can sell bad ESN phones. I don't deal with iCloud. I don't deal with blacklisted or excuse me, lost or stolen phones. If it says that, you never know what you're buying at the end of the day. You can only go off of judgment, and you can go off of those IMEI checks. So if the IMEI check says that the phone has been reported lost or stolen, then I don't touch it at all. But you can buy finance phones all day. You can make a ton of money on those. Um, I highly suggest you guys, do your research on this before diving into it, making sure you know how to list them on eBay, doing all those things before, if you've only been flipping used phones and you want to get into that, then do your research on that first before you dive into it. There's a little there's a couple barriers you have to get around, and sometimes you have to deal with those other flippers who buy from you on eBay who try to get over sometimes. So make sure you guys do that, but you can buy them and flip them on eBay. And last but not least, the third and final myth that I want to get out, that I want to let you guys know about, is that this business is a get rich quick scheme. Now, you guys are seeing a lot of people uh, flipping phones. There's a lot of different, uh, quote unquote mentors out there who like to teach and have courses about flipping phones and have different guides for you to go by and stuff like that. And a lot of them are kind of preaching that they're doing so and so, or they like to throw out a lot of numbers, just to kind of get you in that mindset that well, I can do that. I can do that my first month, or I have a lot of phones in my area. I can do that, in 2 months. When in reality, it's not like that. A lot of people, you know, um, their first month, they're this is a learning process. They're learning, they're slowly building their capital, um, but they're not, turning $100 into $40,000 in 2 months. This just doesn't work like that. Um, but again, a lot of people are being misled, thinking that they can do that in a month or two, when, in reality, this is a business. This is, business is not easy. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of ups and downs. Um, but at the end of the day, you learn from all that. You get better, and then when you start to really, you really start making money. You're doing 25, 30 grand in sales a month, with great profit margins. Then you consistently, then you know how to level up from that. But just want to get that out of the way, that this is not a get rich quick scheme. A lot of people throw out numbers. They tell you this, they tell you that, but in reality, you can hit those if you work hard. But it all kind of matters if what kind of capital you have. Pretty much, you can hit high numbers if you're starting with 10 grand. Yeah, of course you can hit high numbers because you can buy anything you want. um, but for a lot of the people who are just starting, they don't have 10 grand to start. They're doing this because they want to make money. So if you only have 200-300 bucks to start, then it's going to take a while for you to get to that 10 grand in capital. But the most important part about it is just you not giving up, and you continuing to um, work towards your goal. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be times where you lose money. There's going to be times where you have those no shows. There's going to be a lot of negative things that happen. But like the quote you guys probably always hear, only the strong survive. Now, there's a lot of people who I have taught, and who have went through my course, other courses, who have just stopped. They just stopped because they were discouraged, um, and it happens to a lot of people. But again, if you go through that little phase of you know not making those huge profits, building your capital, going through the ups and downs, going through those eBay returns, learning from all that, then by the time you get, you got 5 grand in the bank, you're flowing. Everything is flowing. You know, you're not getting any returns. You're making big profits. You know how to negotiate down on deals. You know, it's like clockwork. Everything is moving like clockwork. So that is what I want to get out of the way. Those 3 myths for you guys. Um, if you do enjoy these videos, please drop a like. Help me out with this YouTube algorithm. They're not pushing my videos out. You know, even though a lot of people are sharing them and commenting on them, it'll be, you know, I would really appreciate if you do like the video. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. If you do have any other myths that you know hear, comment them down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.